Let's see. Okay. Ami, can you read lesson 40, please?
Yes, sir. Gam, asa, taashe, begam, yako, to kal, to call.
Up. Okay. And Phineas?
Okay, sir. Gam gam asa taase vegam yakol tokol
Okay.
tokal
To Cal, right?
tokal.
Actually, this one is not the word call, meaning all. So this is we are going to talk about it. This is the variation of yakal, the Hebrew word yakal. So anyway, okay, today we are going to talk about infinite absolute. Okay, so far there was only one form of infinite. What is that? Infinite construct. But whenever you are dealing with infinite form, then I ask you to write infinite construct, not just a simply infinite. Why? Because there are two kinds of infinitive forms. So today we are going to talk about another form of infinitive. So the first one is called infinitive absolute, and we are going to talk about no construct, and then today we are going to talk about infinite absolute. So before dealing with infinite absolute, let me ask you this question. What are the indicators, important indicators of infinitive construct form? Do you remember?
Sure.
Shua and Harlem.
Yes, Shua and Holem. That's for strong and kal, right? In case of first guttural verb, which cannot take Shua under the first guttural letter, it normally takes composite Shua. Then you begin to see this, right? Whenever Shua is supposed to be coming under a root letter, and yet the root letter is a guttural letter, then normally Shua is replaced by composite Shua. So anyway, it still works that way. Then today, I just let me tell you the conclusion first. Infinite absolute will come with two indicators. Number one, the first vowel point is, as you can see, kamet. Okay, this one is asa, the verb asa. I mean, okay, I need to use this. Okay, as you can see here, kamet, and this one, second vowel point. We have a second vowel point. What is it? Holem. So yeah, it's the dot above sin has double function. Okay, this one is sin dot at the same time Holem dot. When these two dots are coming together, then normally one dot is just enough. Okay, so comets under the first root letter, and then Holem above the second root letter. Interestingly, generally speaking, when we have the form of infinitive absolute, then you can see that the word is normally coming twice. As you can see that this is what? Asa again. Can you see that? Uh, Someone is coming in. All right. And look at this. We have another Hebrew verb, which is yakal. And as you can see that we have kamet and holem. So now, the indicators of infinite absolute are comets under the first root letter and holem above second root letters. a little later, okay? And also, this one is a variation of yakal. So this one is yakal and this is yakal. So now, the first yakal is used in the form of infinitive absolute. It's the same here. First asa is appearing in the form of infinite absolute. So now, it's most likely when we have a verb used in the infinitive absolute form, normally it comes with another identical verb, but in different forms. Okay, so that's it. Now this one is a little bit tricky because in terms of the diagnostic, it's not really as usual. I mean, as unique as other forms. When you're talking about Shua and Holem, then there is no other form that look alike. That's why it is always helping. But if you look at these indicators, which are comets and Holem, you may be a little bit confused. Okay, so this is what we're going to talk about. But in despite of the confusion we may have because of this, what is it? Um, indicators that are not really as obvious as other uh, forms, but it is still helping that we may come with another identical verb, but in different forms. Okay, that's gonna be the most important indicator for infinite absolute, but not all the time, generally speaking. But anyway, you need to still remember, okay, what you need to expect in terms of the diagnostic of infinitive absolute. What are they? Comets, okay? The first comet and the second Holem. In terms of the appearance of Holem, this is Holem defectiva, but Holem plane can even replace this Holem defectiva. So you need to be flexible when it comes to, Holem writing. Okay, you can expect either Holem plane or Holem defectiva. Okay, then we need to talk about. Let me move on a minute. Okay, let's read the slide. I want to ask peers to read. Could you?
Yeah, sure. Cal, infinitive, construct, and absolute. Biblical Hebrew has two kinds of infinitive verbs. One, infinitive construct, and two, infinitive absolute. One, the infinitive construct can function much like the English infinitive, commonly translated with the preposition to plus a verb, as in to go. Two, the infinitive absolute plus verb, usually prefix, is an emphatic construction conveyed in English by adding the word surely to the verb employed.
Thank you. So now, what is the function of infinitive absolute? To emphasize the meaning. So as you can see that um, it normally appears with another verb, usually in the prefix form. So in this case, what are you going to do? You need to emphasize the meaning of the verb by adding surely. Is that clear? That is the number one and the most important function of infinitive absolute. But you need to also be aware of other functions of infinitive absolute. We are going to talk about it later. Let me just move on. Pierce, it sounds so good. Would you continue?
Okay, infinitive absolute. The infinitive absolute occurs less frequently than any other Hebrew conjunction, with only 872 total occurrences. With regard to function, however, there is no English equivalent. The infinitive absolute is not inflected for person, gender, and number. There is only one form to memorize.
So it's the same when it comes to the analysis of infinitive absolute. There is no PGN, so you need to put none there, but only form as infinite absolute. Okay, so you are not supposed to simply put infinite or infinitive construct. So you need to make sure it should be infinite absolute. Now let's talk about all the important uh, vowel points of different forms. Okay, we have infinitive construct and infinitive absolute. Now, on the left side, you have infinitive. What is this? Construct. Because if you look at strong verb, as we have discussed in the beginning of today's lesson, you can see the Shua and Holem, right? So these are the most important indicators of infinite construct in terms of strong verb. Of course, must be the constant. But what about infinitive absolute? As you can see, the first vowel is comet, and the second one is Holem, either Holem plane or Holem effectiva. Are you following me? Okay, let's talk about first yod bob. In case of first yod bob, especially for infinitive construct, then the first yod, but the first yod bob will be dropped off, and we are going to have replacement. Do you remember this? It doesn't sound new to us. You are supposed to remember all those things. And then in case of first noon bob, the first noon will be assimilated. So that's why we have a dot here, assimilation. But anyway, it is also taking the compensation of top. Hello Bob will be appearing as identical as the lexicon form. So cum is cum. But in case of a fixed form of this hello Bob, then what are you going to have? 3ms of this form will have come. The second vowel point, which is shurek, will not be appearing as it is, right? So if you have the hollow vowel appearing as identical as the lexicon form, then that's quite special already. So there is a possibility of what? Infinitive construct at the same time imperative. So you need to always think about these two possibilities dealing with hollow vowel. And third he will take oath ending, okay? And then as I already explained, first guttural cannot take shua under the guttural letter. So that's why shua is replaced by composite shua, but holem is still there. Double weak verb, it's the same. So it's gonna be a combination between first guttural plus third he. So oath is there and the composite shua is there. And then at the same time, this yeah. Anyway, this is it. But what about then the other weak verbs for infinitive absolute? We are talking about this side's infinitive construct, and on the right side, this is all about infinitive absolute. As I said, strong verb case carries comets and holem. And the first Yudba, praise the Lord, it still takes comets and holem. Okay. And what about first noon? Comets, Holem. Hello verb is important. Okay, unlike this infinitive construct, the second vowel points, the second root letter will be appearing always in the form of Holem plane. So this is important. Okay, it sounds like this Holem plane serves for the specific type of hello verb like bo, right? Bo actually takes Holem plane as a root letter. The second root letter is a whole employed. But whether it is O type or U type or IM type, they will change the second vowel point to Holland. Okay. In case of cum, it will be appearing as a cum. O will be appearing as a bo. What about a sim? Sim will be appearing in the form of som. Okay. So the second root letter will be replaced by Holland. But anyway, most important indicator will be like this. In this case, we cannot be dependent on the first vowel point, which is comet, but the second vowel point, which is Holland plane or Holland defective, and still works. Okay, so in the form of infinite absolute, I need to say that the most important indicator is gonna be the second vowel point, which is Holland plane or Holland defectiva. Third he is also appearing with all those expected vowel pointing comets, holem, comets, holem, and double weak verb comets, holem, comets, holem, comet, holem. So now, what do you need to remember? Comets, holem, except hollow verb. You simply see holem between the first and the third root letters in case of a hollow verb. Is that clear? Then let me move on. So, as we just read the slide today, the most important function of infinite absolute is to intensify, emphasize the meaning. So you can put several words to emphasize the meaning of the verb. The first one, indeed. The second one, certainly. And third one, surely. So whatever you like, you can choose. Now look at this. As I already explained, this is a shama. And you see all the indicators of infinite absolute. What are they? Comets and holem. But shama, the word, the same identical verb is just following. Uh, can you see that? So most likely in the prefix form. The first shama must be infinitive absolute. Okay. What about the word mut? And you can see mot, right? The second vowel point should be replaced by holem. Okay, that is the indicator for infinitive absolute of hollow vowel. What about amar? Amar is also coming with the comets and holem. And fortunately, we have another amar here. So in this case, you need to put the emphasizing meaning. Okay, emphasizing means surely, certainly, indeed. Okay, that is the number one function of infinitive absolute. But let me move on. The second one, in this case, as you can see that the infinitive absolute can stand by itself. What is the difference between emphatic and imperatival usages? Uh, in case of emphatic, the infinitive absolute form is normally followed by the same verb of prefix form. But if you have only one usage of infinitive absolute, then you may use it as an imperative. Okay, so we don't have any problem here to recognize this verb as imperative absolute. Why? Because we have hamet and holem. And then do we have another zakar used in the form of prefix form? No, it just comes by itself. Okay, and in this case, it functions as imperative. Zakar means what? To remember. So remember what? Hayom Hadzed, this day. Okay. Also, Shamar, Kamet, and Holem. It's very obvious. Looks like infinite absolute. And observe what? Yom HaShabbat, Sabbath day. Okay, this is the second usage of infinitive absolute. Another usage is contemporaneous action. Okay, with some frequency, two infinitive absolute may be used together with a prefix or a fixed verb for the purpose of expressing two verbal actions occurring simultaneously. Okay, what does it mean? Here, where can you see these the infinitive absolute form? Where? Okay, this one is not infinitive absolute. As you can see that it must be verb conversive, and then it follows general rule of missing letter rule. So this one is uh halak, but yalak, halak wants to be yalak. That's why halak follows the pattern of first root verb. I think this is not supposed to be new. So we have a prefix form, and it is followed by two uh, infinitive absolute verbs. This one is a halak, as you can see, kametz and holem. And then the other one is akal. So this one is kametz and holem. So if you have two verbs appearing side by side in a specific form of infinitive absolute, then you need to think about this possibility that you have two verbs taking place as an action occurring simultaneously. So the translation is the first one is and he walked, right? But the first one is the ongoing action simultaneously walking and eating. Okay, this is the third usage of infinitive absolute. Here, another usage is Allah, and this one is what? What form is this? What form is this? Form. Oh, you are thinking about these comets, but can you see whole name above the second letter? No. It's just stay with what you know. What is it? This is
Prefix. Sorry,
no.
affix. Sorry, affix.
Right. I know that you meant affix. Yeah, this is affix. So it's the third hair. So when the third hair is attached to affix pronoun, then the hair simply is 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 dropped off, right? So this is not supposed to be new to you. So if you are curious about this, just go to your verb chart for the third hair part. Then especially what PGN do you have? Three common plural. So when we are supposed to have should again for third person common plural, then normally the third head simply disappears. Okay, because of shurek augment. So yeah, this is a fixed form, and then verb reversive or verb conjunction. But anyway, so the translation is what? And they went up. Allah means what? Going up, and baka means what? Whipping. So as you can see that the most important thing that we need to remember here is that uh, two verbs, okay, two verbs used in the infinitive absolute. And oh, you can think about this ongoing action, like simultaneously, these two actions are taking place. Okay, that is the third usage. But let me tell you, I think in terms of the frequency of infinitive absolute uses, although we are talking about all different, functions of infinitive absolute, number one, the emphatic usage is going to be the most popular one. Okay. But anyway, you still need to understand how infinite absolute can be used in terms of meaning. Um, let's move on to the last usage of infinitive absolute. Okay, an infinitive absolute may complement the main verb of a sentence and carry the temporal value of the main verb. In this usage, the infinite absolute will translate just like an affix or a prefix, even though it is not an inflected form. Okay, let's just look at this. Nathan still appearing with comets and Holem. So now you don't have any problem trying to see it as in the form of infinitive absolute. But in this case, this is just complementary. So the meaning will be simply a fixed form, just like a fixed usage. So don't panic, just to use it as if it is a fixed form. Okay, that is quite rarely used. It's not quite open. Okay, but there is a possibility that you can use a fixed form as in the sense of, I mean, infinitive form in the sense of affix or prefix form. All right. Let me move on. So now let's analyze the first verb, aso. Kal. Okay. Root letters are asa, kal, infinitive, absolute. One more time. Do not simply put infinitive. You need to make sure to put infinitive absolute and non-special feature and non-PGN. Meaning, how are you going to put the meaning? Just put the meaning of the verb as it is. You don't need to put the meaning after to. Okay, just to directly put the meaning. Okay, ase, it's a prefix form. So root asa, stem. What stem do we have?
칼,
Yes. Or or field. Because what can you see? Pata under the prefix pronoun is the most important indicator of he-feel prefix form. Do you remember this? So in case of double weak verb like asa, there is no difference between kal stem and he stem. I think it appeared in your translation quiz, and some of you lost zero point 0.5 mark for that because you simply put either he-feel or kal. But if you are dealing with a double weak verb of prefix form, then you will have pata under the prefix pronoun. So with or without verb conversive, it'll most likely carry pata under the prefix pronoun. Then you have to always think about two possibilities in terms of the stem. So you need to put two stems here, high and he feel. Okay, don't forget this, please. Okay, and then form very straightforward because of the path prefix
Mhm.
pgn.
3FSG, 2MSG.
Yes, Sharon, you're right. Two possibilities: 3 FSG, 2 MSG. Special feature: none. Meaning, then you have to reflect on two meanings of Carl and Hefil and 3 FSG and 2 MSG. So, those all possibilities should be included there. Is it clear? Okay, let's move on. All right, this one is the verb yakal actually, but uh, quite obviously uh, carrying all those important indicators of infinitive absolute, comets and holem. Okay, comets and holem. So root letters, yakal, kal, infinitive absolute, no PGN, no special feature, meaning be able, have power, prevail, endure. I think most of you probably remember this one, the meaning as be able, right? Okay, let's move on. Now, actually, yakal, the verb yakal is quite unique, strange, a strange verb. So we need to deal with this separately. So you may start asking this question. Okay, Pastor, you told me that this is a yakal. Then why is that we have shurek? Shurek. We are going to talk about it. But anyway, we will move on to another slide. It is all about this the characteristic or the uniqueness of the verb yakal. But anyway, as I said, this one comes with prefix form. So you need to know that this is yakal and stem is kal. It cannot be hifil stem because in order for this word to be the hifil stem, then what do we expect? This one is first yod, especially, yeah. What specific component do we expect after the prefix pronoun for the first yod verb?
Olem verb.
Yeah, Hollenbab, they already said Holem plane. So the yod will be replaced by Holem plane. Do you remember? Okay, for the hifil, first yod verb? Yes. But this one is not Holem plane, but it is Shurek. So there must be difference. Don't be confused as if this one is the hifil. Okay. But anyway, this one is Kai prefix and then two possibility, three FSG and two MSG. Special feature, none. The meaning is you will be able, or she will be able, or you will be able, you will have power, or she will have power. I guess this is quite straightforward, except Shurek instead of Holland. We are going to talk about it later. uh, all right. In today's passage, actually, we have this what does it mean, come? Moreover, and also, but we have two gum, okay? So you can put also moreover two times here, but it can be used as an idiomatic expression. So if you have two, the word gum appearing two times in a sentence, then you can probably consider using the meaning of both, okay? Both, both. So this is it. Okay, let me go back. So gam means moreover, also even. Begam and gam is often translated both and. Okay, what do you mean by again and again, and also and also? So there is the nuance of both. Okay, and paired with the negative, it can mean neither. Okay, so the example is I know not the Lord, neither will I let Israel go. I do not know the Lord, and I will not let Israel go. Yeah, just for information. Okay. Okay, how are we going to translate the passage today? The literal one, as I said, the usage of gam, the gam must be both, and I want to put both. The both. You will. Asa means what? Do. But you need to emphasize the meaning by putting surely, certainly, indeed. So I'm going to put surely. So both you will surely do or make. And what is the next meaning of the verb? You will surely be able, or you will surely have a power. Okay, that's it. I know that the translation doesn't sound smooth yet because it's a part of one sentence. So we need to really look at the other parts. But as far as the given passage is concerned, then we can simply say both you will surely do and you will surely have power. KJV, thou shalt both do great things and also shall still prevail. ASB, thou shalt both do mightily and shall surely prevail. RSV, you will do many things and will succeed in them. Oh, now I don't know how we could get this meaning, but it's theologically reflected. You know, RSV is kind of a most commonly used by scholars, okay, not biblical scholars, but theologian. That is the theologian's favorite translation. But in terms of the reflection of a theological aspect, RSV is good. But anyway, NIV, you will do great things and surely triumph. Okay. Sounds more poetic, dramatic. And TLB, you shall do heroic deeds and be a great conqueror. Okay. So I think those meanings are caused by this emphatic meaning of infinitive absolute. So what do you mean? You will surely do, and you will surely have power. So it describes the potential and the ability of the person here. So I think also you need to pay attention to the context as well. But anyway, that is the meaning here, I think. But um, the specific nuance from the context is reflected here when it comes to the other translation. But literal translation is you will surely do and you will surely have power. Sounds like you can do it. Eh? You are more than conqueror like this. All right. Okay. But I think we need to talk about the specific usage of yakad. Unfortunately, we don't have the slide here. I thought we must have. Okay, I think we need to look at our textbook. Okay, let me 190, page 190. There must be some uh, things that you have to bear in mind. Let me go out, then take a picture. I can show you. Okay, I need to stop sharing. Come on. Okay. Mm, give me just 2 minutes. If you have your textbook with you, go to page 190 and look at yakal, affix, prefix, and infinitive. Okay. Right. There you go. True. Ah, I was logged out. All right. I want you to start looking at all different forms, okay, in terms of Yakat, because as I said, Yakat is quite unique. And there are at least two things that you have to pay attention to. So start looking at it. I'm going to show you in a minute. I'm trying to log in again. I want you to pay attention to 3 MSG and infinitive absolute. Okay. Can you see this? All right. This is what you can see from your textbook. And as I said, you need to pay attention to 3 MSG affix together with absolute. What can you see? It's identical, right? We have talked about the indicators of infinitive absolutes, and you need to remember what are they? Comets and Holland. Now, look at 3 MSG of fixed form. We have Comet and Holland. Uh, the Hebrew verb yakar has its own unique pattern. But in terms of fixed form, I don't want to say this is quite unique because sometimes there are certain verbs that are following this Comet and Holland pattern. So in that case, you gotta be really careful. What I'm trying to say is most of the time, if you have Comets and Holland, then think about infinitive absolute. But you can always say Comets and Holland must be the absolute indicator or diagnostics of infinite absolute. As you can see, it can be even the indicator of 3 MSG of its form. So in that case, what are you going to do? You need to discern what it is depending on the context, especially in terms of yakal. And talking about the uniqueness of the verb yakal, pay attention to the prefix form. The prefix form yakal comes with shurek, and you can see that the first yod is replaced by shurek after prefix pronoun. Okay, so today we had 3 FSG and 2 MSG possibilities, right? And then it must be you. But anyway, so it's not simply for 3 FSG or 2 MSG that the yod is replaced by shurek, but the yod is replaced by the shurek uh, for every PGN, especially for yaka. When if you have this form, don't panic. Just remember this and take it as an ordinary form of prefix. Okay, for yaka. Uh, and another thing that's quite interesting is this. Yakar is appearing with all important indicators of Shua and Holem. Then why is that we have tabu ending at the end? Actually, we are supposed to have this tabu ending whenever the first yod verb is dropped off in the infinitive absolute. Do you remember? But as you can see, it comes with the yod. But this yakar is crazy, very selfish, if even though he is taking the yod but still wants to take another compensation. Anyway, I think this is our first time to look at this, but don't panic and don't ask me the question why. I don't know why. This yakar is just crazy. All right. Okay, then let's move on. So I think there are several things that we need to remember in terms of the distinctiveness of yakal, because yakal is going to be used in a unique way, okay, in terms of the indicators of infinite to absolute. But you need to remember that the comet and holem can be even the indicator of 3 MSG of its form. And interestingly, it comes with tab ending, but there can be a case like this. And for prefix form, the yod will be replaced by shurek without changing its form and stem. It's still prefix and it's still car stem. Okay, there is no reason for this one uh, to have the replacement of shurek instead of the yod. Okay, that's it. Uh, Teacher Labaya, time to let us know our assignment.
Assignment is on page 191. 191 and then number 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you. Do
that's
you
what
have
I
any
found.
question? If you don't have, I want to go back to this one. Do you remember this? And then I asked you to do it by yourself yesterday. Let's do it. Page 183. We'll focus on the A section. Although B and C, they are all important. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time to cover all of them. But anyway, before we do it, I want to just to say something. What it was. Like. All right. A simple reminder of the importance of summarizing the lessons. I begin to see that some of our students, I mean, Hebrew scholars, some of our friends in this classroom are doing really good. Okay. And whenever I mark on your translation quiz, and you guys are really outstanding, some of you, and I know that the reason why those students are outstanding or doing still good in spite of this, intensified difficulty of Hebrew 2 in terms of grammar and vocabulary, they just share the secret. What is it? They have really good summary notes because everything comes together. And if you always take review of all lessons and taking a look at in each slide, then you can understand, but so much hard for you to remember all the core aspects. What is the most important thing that you have to remember, especially doing Hebrew 2? It's all about indicators, diagnostics of different stems and forms, and you need to deal with them in terms of the variation of the verbs. Strong verb, weak verbs, and what kind of weak verb? First yod verb, hello verb, first gutturals, double weak, third hair, you know. So now, in fact, I was tempted to allow you to use your verb chart for your translation quiz a bit earlier. But I decided not to. Why? Because you need and needs to remember the basic indicators. And so far, HIFID is so much important. And told you, you are going to have two mountains to climb. Number one mountain is just the done. There was a HIFIL. And when we are dealing with the HIFIL, some of you are just lost, feeling like, oh, I'm lost. But some of you did a good job. Why? Because of your summary notes. So please do make your summary notes. You don't need to put a lot of things there. Then that's not gonna be, a summary note. You need to simply highlight, what preformative and what vowel point, what indicator, I need to have for Sheffield or PL. Okay, first yield Bob, those things. Just simplify and then spend your time to be familiar with all those things, then you'll be okay. Uh, from this week onward, I will continually allow you to use your verb chart because we are moving toward the highest mountain, Mount Everest in Hebrew 2. That is the Nifa. And that's going to be really tough. Why? Because even in terms of heat field diagnostic, it's quite straightforward because you have preformative hair and sometimes mem. But you know what? It's understandable because it's a heat field. That's why it should come with hair. But does it make sense that, the file will come with hair? It will come with a knee or a fixed form. But when it comes to other form, it is still Nephi, but it will come with hair. That's why this guy is crazy. And you will feel like I cannot do this anymore. But don't panic. We will overcome another mountain. Okay? Don't give up and be ready. I think it's gonna be somewhere lesson 45 onward. And that's gonna be the last part that we need to overcome. So as long as you know where we are, it's really helping. Okay. So now in terms of the level of the lesson, it's not really as hard as he feel. Okay, it was literally shocking. And even what was that? Can you imagine? Default is so hard. Why? Because the preformative ni will be somehow confusing in terms of first noon verb, right? And then what about then yo tap 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 aleph, yo tap 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 nun. So even prefix form will take nun. So now I'm telling you that when you have noon in the beginning, there are a lot of possibilities. That's why I'm saying default is gonna be the toughest one. But be ready. And that is my style. I don't want to say, oh, don't worry, everything is gonna be all right and everything gonna be like a piece of cake. I always keep the sense of the reality, and it's gonna be tough, but we can do it. That's it. Okay. So come on, and let's move on. I'm gonna show you I mean the textbook page 183. If you have the textbook with you, I wanna just let you do it. We are done with number okay, let's move share. Okay, here. Let's start with number 23. Sharon, number 23. Amos 22. Romero 21. Did we do this? I think we did 19 and 20. Right? What number did we do yesterday? Do you remember? I did something like 19. It seems like 19 and 20. Yeah. So let's skip 19 and 20. So Pierce 18, Stephen 17, Kanae 16. So easy. So take 15 together. Bonus. Um, Phineas 14, Ami 13, Zombie 12, and Albert, where are you? Okay, James 11 and Samson number 10. Albert, you can join us. If you can join us, number 9.
Yes. I can hear you clearly,
All right.
Professor.
Do you have your textbook with you right now?
Yes, I have textbook with me.
All right. So then take number 9.
Number 9. Okay.
Yeah, under section A. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, I know that you are busy working on it. Jumpy, was it your motorcycle, by the way, the red one?
Honda
Yeah, CBR,
CRV. Yeah.
CRB,
Yeah.
CRB. What?
650.
Yeah, is it yours?
No,
Okay, I just wanted to ask you. As you can
expensive.
see, I'm wearing my leather jacket. I missed the time to write.
Yeah. We bought it from Thailand,
Okay, your friend?
and we, yeah. He live in India, and he asked us to buy for
All
him,
right.
and
Must
we
be-
send it to India.
Must be fast.
Yes, very fast.
I'm driving my scooter 300 X Max. And you know what? I'm always driving my motorcycle like racing. I'm thirsty to drive.
I can feel your hunger.
Go ahead.
Professor,
Yeah.
can you zoom in a little bit more?
Oh, okay.
I-
What
I
number
think
are
my
you
eyes are not
working on?
Number 10.
Number 10, okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Samson,
thank you.
number 10, not my number 9, please.
I'm okay with mine. Thank you.
Do you guys still love each other?
A little bit.
To be honest, we lost our bond.
Because I never heard you guys saying I love you anymore in Hebrew too.
How many is gone?
We do it in sign language.
Oh yeah, okay. Sorry, I can understand this. Your sign language. Okay, 2 more minutes. You can use your verb chart. And I know that your verb chart will not be working perfectly because of sometimes because of pronominal suffix. Okay, time's up. Uh, Samson, if you're still working on it, can you just write it down on your note? I need to move it down to
Oh
number
yeah, I'm done.
23. Done? Okay. Let's go to number 23. Who was in charge? Sharon?
Yes.
All right. So what is your analysis?
예, 칼, affix, 2MSG, and 1MSG suffix.
Could you do it one more time?
Okay. Stem, 칼, and form, affix,
Mm-hmm.
and PGN, 2MSG, and special feature, 1MSG suffix.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yes.
You said what PGN?
2MSG.
Why do you think it's 2MSG? the dog is barking, you're wrong. Right? Okay, so it's not
네.
2MSG, but what is it?
아,
Okay, you're right. To
음,
analyze it as a combination of a fixed form and pronominal suffix. Okay, so you have ni pronominal suffix. So removing this ni, and you have shalak. And do you have any specific indicator for other PGN?
아,
So in this case, you have no prefix, I mean, affix pronoun. Then what PGN takes no affix pronoun?
3MSG?
Right. So this one must be 3MSG. But why is it Shua? The question is, you can be tempted, okay, whenever we see Shua under the first root letter, then we quickly think about, the possibility of imperative or what is it, infinitive construct. But in this case, you need to understand that this ni affect the vowel, the vocalization of the vowel points. That's why it's not comets, but it's just schwa. So you need to understand. And unfortunately, we cannot find these identical vowel points in our verb chart. So you need to be flexible and be aware of the possibilities. So you are right, analyzing it as a fixed form, and then we have suffix. What suffix is this? What PGN? Ni is what?
one CSG?
Right. So it's either E ending or ni ending. It's both refers to one CSG pronominal suffix. So you're right. Good job, Sharon. Let's move on to number 22. It's Amos, you?
Yes, it's me. It's
Yeah,
me.
what is it?
Okay, it is cow stem,
Mm-hmm.
affix,
Mm-hmm.
form, three common plural PGN,
Mm-hmm.
and this ni pronominal suffix, one common SG pronominal suffix.
Right. And then what is the root letter?
Uh, in sin he.
Right, good job. So you are right. This is a fixed form, Kal, 3CPL. And then the suffix is what? Same, as the same as that of Sharon. So 1CSG, pronominal suffix. But the question is here, why is that the first vowel point is not affected? Here, it's affected. Have you ever asked the question? To be honest, I don't know. But what I can see here is this. This is double weak verb, okay? And most of the time we can expect that it can affect the vowel system, but not all the time. So somehow it has something to do with the double weak verb, the uniqueness of double weak verb, and sometimes it will affect, and sometimes it will not affect. So in this case, but it's very obvious. Okay, but all right, let's move on. 21. It's Romero.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Stem is cal,
Mm-hmm.
form is prefix,
Prefix.
2MSG.
You said prefix.
Affix, sorry,
All
sir.
right, affix, and then
2MSG
why do you think this is 2MSG? Because of what?
because of the it's a, in the pro, I base it on the pronominal suffix, sir.
Yeah. So what pronominal suffix do you have?
Uh, it's the 1CSG.
Okay, you said this is 1CSG. Okay. Right. U is not U itself is not a pronominal suffix. So if this U is a pronominal suffix, then it comes with who. That's why we have who. So I think we need to go back to the lesson. I think the lesson, what was it? The lesson I forgot. 30, 38, probably lesson 38, where we deal with different types of pronoun suffix, type 1, type 2, and then, alternative form and nun suffix. Do you remember this? Please go back to the chart and make sure that you memorize all pronoun suffix, especially for 3 MSG and then first common singular
It's
form. Okay, this who itself is pronominal suffix form, but you might be confused. Why? Because this is asa, and then you may take this one as if this shurek ending is a fixed pronoun for third person common plural. Are you following me? Because u is the indicator of 3 common plural affix form. Are you following me? Are you following me?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ting a ta tu ti u tem ten nu. So u on the right side serves for 3 CPL. So the question is, how do you see the difference between pronoun suffix u and this u affix form for the third he? Because as I said, who itself is pronominal suffix. And there is possibility that this asa is root letter. The third has root letter, and we have shurek affix pronoun. And why do you think this one cannot be CCPL affix pronoun? Anybody know?
The hair will disappear in one
Very
sentence.
good, Stephen. Good job. Very proud of you, my enemy of badminton. You are learning a lot of things from me. Okay, yeah, right. Stephen pointed out very important aspect here. Actually, if this one is 3CPL affix pronoun, then the hair will not be here. Why? Because the hair is supposed to be dropped off. As I said, hair is not strong enough. So when this hair is coming together with affix pronoun, then it's normally disappearing. Okay, that's why it cannot be. In case of, where are you? I think we must have something. Yeah, just forget about it. I think we have the form. Oh yeah, here. Look at this. Can you see this? Here. As you can see, we don't have the third hair. In this case, this one must be 3CPL affix form without pronominal suffix. Is that clear? So you need to see the difference between them. So now, the who is the pronominal suffix indicating 3MSZ. Is that clear? Okay.
Yes, sure.
Good job. Let's just do one more, and then we will come back to you. So please remember what you took today. Okay. Pierce. Number 20.
No, I was 18.
What is it? Oh yeah, right.
I was number 18.
18, because 19 and 20 was done. 18. What is your analysis?
Okay, so root letters asa, ayin, sin, hey. Stem, it's kind of got me. It looks a lot like hifil, but I think it's actually cow stem. Form affix. Prefix. Prefix. PGN 3 MPL. Special feature pronominal suffix 1 CSG.
Right.
Meaning, and they made me.
Right, great.
If
You
it's cow.
recognize all the important part, Pierce. But one thing, I emphasize it today again. You have to, if you are dealing with a double weak verb, okay, the third he and the first root letter is a guttural, then tata under the prefix pronoun indicates two possibilities in terms of the stem. So it's either kal or feel. So looking at this as it is, we don't know which one it is. It certainly depends on the context. Okay, please don't miss the possibility of these two. Okay, kal and hifil, just for double weak verb. Okay, you did a good job. If you can confidently deal with those examples, I believe you are doing good. Okay. So far, the preformative hair and then all those important indicators, those are really confusing. But when it comes to pronominal suffix, then that is another side because it totally affects the vowel system. So somehow you may be confused as if what we have learned will not work because you cannot see the identical vowel points that are expected, right? As the same as that of your verb chart. But praise the Lord, we can still recognize them without having the identical vowel points because we understand that when those verbs are attached to pronominal suffix, then it may affect the vowel system. Then understanding it, we can still recognize all those forms, PGN, stem. It works. So we will be able to continue tomorrow after the lessons. Okay. Do you have any question? So what do you
Yes,
need?
yes.
Yeah. Okay, Pierce.
Yeah, so that verb analysis I just did on asa, if in the verb analysis table we have to put hifil and cow, but it looks like asa can't or doesn't appear in the hifil stem. It only takes cow and nifal.
So
we
you are
still have
looking
to put
when you are looking at vowel point.
no, just looking at the vocabulary. In the back of the book and on our vocabulary list, asa does not appear in the hifil stem.
Asa.
Mm-hmm.
So which page is it?
Number 11, I think it was. So that's going to be page. Let me just check that. Yeah, page 389.
389?
389 in the textbook.
Where are you?
It just says asa as a verb only appears in the cow stem and the nifal.
According to our vocabulary chart, you mean?
Yeah.
So
exactly,
because
yeah.
you can simply see kar and nifal there.
Yeah. Does that mean
all right.
it does not appear in the hifil, or it does sometimes, or hardly, or just never?
Okay. No. The vocabulary list that you have here is a very simplified version. So you cannot simply rely on the fact that whatever you have here will be the absolute meanings that you will have, because sometimes you may have even the word used in other stems. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the your vocabularies only have kind meaning and defined meaning. Doesn't indicate that you will not be appearing in the form of to feel.
Okay, so it's possible. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah, that's
cool.
possible too. All
Okay,
right, thank you for the
Yep.
question. So do you understand what Pierce meant by his question? He is trying to say that according to our vocabulary list, the meaning of asa is just for kal and nifal. He cannot see the meaning of he feel in your vocabulary list. That's why he's saying, if we have asa, like in the number 18, then we better stay with the possibility of kal because we don't have he feel meaning in our vocabulary. So that's how he could say, oh, it must be kal. Okay. But my answer is your vocabulary list is very simplified version. So it doesn't necessarily mean that asa will not be used in the form of feel. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. Any more questions? All right, thank you. Okay, gonna see you tomorrow. Enjoy
Thank you, sir.
the day God has
you,
made
sir.
for you.